Today our topic is the Stoic secret to building discipline. Discipline is one of the most important qualities you can develop in life. It is the foundation of success, happiness, and inner peace. Without discipline, it is hard to achieve your goals, overcome challenges, or grow as a person. But discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build, step by step, through practice and patience. And one of the best ways to build discipline is by following the wisdom of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. Stoicism was founded over 2,000 years ago in Greece, and its teachings have been used by leaders, thinkers, and ordinary people for centuries. The Stoics believed that the key to a good life is not wealth, fame, or power, but virtual living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. They taught that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. This idea is at the heart of building discipline. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It is about choosing to act in a way that aligns with your values and goals, even when it is hard. One of the first steps to building discipline is to understand the difference between what you can control and what you cannot. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. For example, you cannot control the weather, the actions of others, or the past. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. When you focus on what you can control, you stop wasting energy on things that are out of your hands. This frees you to focus on what really matters and take action where it counts. Discipline starts with this mental shift. Instead of complaining about things you cannot change, you take responsibility for the things you can. Another Stoic principle that helps build discipline is the idea of Amor fati, which means love your fate. This means accepting everything that happens to you, good or bad, as part of your journey. Life will always have challenges, setbacks, and unexpected events. The Stoics believe that these obstacles are not just things to endure, but opportunities to grow. When you face a difficult situation, instead of resisting it or feeling sorry for yourself, you can ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to become stronger? This mindset turns every challenge into a chance to practice discipline. Instead of running away from discomfort, you embrace it as a teacher. Building discipline also requires setting clear goals and priorities. The Stoics believed in living with purpose. They asked themselves, what is the most important thing in life? For them, the answer was virtue, being a good person, and living in harmony with nature. But your goals might be different. Maybe you want to improve your health, build a career, or strengthen your relationships. Whatever your goals are, it is important to know what they are and why they matter to you. When you have a clear sense of purpose, it is easier to stay disciplined because you know what you are working toward. Without a clear goal, it is easy to get distracted or lose motivation. Once you have set your goals, the next step is to take action. The Stoics believed in the power of small, consistent steps. They knew that big changes do not happen overnight. Instead, they come from daily habits and routines. For example, if you want to become more disciplined in your work, start by setting aside a specific time each day to focus on your tasks. If you want to improve your health, start with small changes like drinking more water or taking a short walk every day. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. Discipline is not about doing everything right all the time. It is about making small, consistent efforts that add up over time. One of the biggest challenges to building discipline is dealing with distractions and temptations. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with things that pull us away from our goals: social media, TV, junk food, and more. The Stoics had a simple but powerful way to deal with this. They practiced self-denial. This does not mean punishing yourself or living a life of misery. It means training yourself to resist instant gratification in order to achieve long-term rewards. For example, If you are trying to save money, you might practice self-denial by avoiding unnecessary purchases. If you are trying to eat healthier, you might practice self-denial by saying no to sugary snacks. Over time, these small acts of self-control strengthen your discipline and help you stay focused on your goals. Another important part of building discipline is learning to manage your emotions. The Stoics believed that emotions like anger, fear, and desire can cloud our judgment and lead us astray. They taught that we should not let our emotions control us. Instead, we should observe them, understand them, and then choose how to respond. For example, if you feel angry, instead of lashing out, you can take a deep breath and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is this anger helping me or hurting me? By taking a moment to reflect, you can make a more disciplined choice. This does not mean suppressing your emotions or pretending they do not exist. It means acknowledging them and then deciding how to act in a way that aligns with your values. One of the most powerful Stoic practices for building discipline is the premeditation of evils. This means imagining the worst-case scenarios and preparing yourself mentally for them. For example, if you are starting a new business, you might imagine what would happen if it fails. If you are going on a trip, you might imagine what you would do if you lost your luggage. This practice might sound negative, but it is actually very empowering. By thinking about the worst that could happen, you take away its power to surprise or overwhelm you. You also prepare yourself to handle challenges with calm and clarity. This helps you stay disciplined because you are not thrown off course by setbacks or difficulties. Finally, building discipline requires patience and persistence. The Stoics knew that change takes time. They did not expect to become perfect overnight, and neither should you. There will be days when you struggle, when you feel tired or unmotivated, or when you make mistakes. That is okay. What matters is that you keep going. Discipline is not about being perfect. It is about showing up day after day and doing your best. The more you practice, the stronger your discipline will become. And over time, you will find that discipline is not just a tool for achieving your goals. It is a way of life that brings you peace, confidence, and strength. In conclusion, the Stoic secret to building discipline is simple but profound. It starts with understanding what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. It involves setting clear goals, taking small consistent actions, and practicing self-denial. It requires managing your emotions, preparing for challenges, and being patient with yourself. Most importantly, it is about living with purpose and aligning your actions with your values. Discipline is not easy, but it is worth it. It is the key to achieving your goals, overcoming obstacles, and living a good life. So start today. Take one small step. And remember, every act of discipline, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you want to be.